Our planetary system is located in an outer spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. Our solar system consists of our star, the Sun, and everything bound to it by gravity: the planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Dwarf planets such as Pluto, dozens of moons and millions of asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. Beyond our own solar system, we have discovered thousands of planetary systems orbiting other stars in the Milky Way. It is made up of a star, 8 planets, and countless smaller bodies such as dwarf planets, asteroids and comets. It orbits the center of the Milky Way galaxy at about 515,000 miles per hour, 828,000 kilometers per hour. We're in one of the galaxy's 4 spiral arms. It takes our solar system about 230 million years to complete one orbit around the galactic center. There are 3 general kinds of galaxies: elliptical, spiral and irregular. The Milky Way is a spiral galaxy. Our solar system is a region of space. It has no atmosphere. But it contains many worlds, including Earth, with many kinds of atmospheres. It is the only one known to support life. So far, we only know of life on Earth, but we're looking for more everywhere we can. Sun. The Sun, the heart of our solar system, is a yellow dwarf star, a hot ball of glowing gases. Its gravity holds the solar system together, keeping everything from the biggest planets to the smallest particles of debris in its orbit. If the Sun were as tall as a typical front door, Earth would be about the size of a nickel. The Sun is the center of our solar system and makes up 99.8% of the mass of the entire solar system. At the equator, the Sun spins once about every 25 days, but at its poles the Sun rotates once on its axis every 35 Earth days. The Sun is a ball of gas held together by its own gravity. The Sun's core is about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. The Sun's visible surface sometimes has dark sunspots, which are areas of intense magnetic activity that can lead to solar explosions. Mercury. The smallest planet in our solar system and nearest to the Sun, Mercury is only slightly larger than Earth's moon. Despite its proximity to the Sun, Mercury is not the hottest planet in our solar system. That title belongs to nearby Venus, thanks to its dense atmosphere. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system, only slightly larger than Earth's moon. One day on Mercury takes 59 Earth days. One day and night cycle on Mercury takes 175.97 Earth days. It makes a complete orbit around the Sun in just 88 Earth days. It has no moons. No evidence for life has been found on Mercury. Daytime temperatures can reach 430 degrees Celsius and drop to 180 degrees Celsius at night. You could survive on this planet. Venus. Second planet from the Sun and our closest planetary neighbor, Venus is similar in structure and size to Earth. Venus spins slowly in the opposite direction most planets do. Its thick atmosphere traps heat in a runaway greenhouse effect, making it the hottest planet in our solar system, with surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead. One day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days because Venus spins backwards, with its Sun rising in the west and setting in the east. The planet's solid surface is a volcanic landscape covered with extensive plains featuring high volcanic mountains and vast ridged plateaus. It has no moons and no rings. The planet's surface temperature is about 465 degrees Celsius. It's hot enough to melt lead. Its extreme temperatures and acidic clouds make it an unlikely place for life. Earth. Our home planet is the third planet from the Sun, and the only place we know of so far that's inhabited by living things. While Earth is only the fifth largest planet in the solar system, it is the only world in our solar system with liquid water on the surface. If the Sun were as tall as a typical front door, Earth would be the size of a nickel. It is the third planet from the Sun at a distance of about 93 million miles. The planet is a rocky planet with a solid and dynamic surface of mountains, canyons, plains, and more. Its atmosphere is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% other ingredients. Earth has one moon. Our atmosphere protects us from incoming meteoroids, most of which break up in our atmosphere before they can strike the surface. Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. Mars is a dusty, cold, desert world with a very thin atmosphere. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun at an average distance of about 228 million kilometers. One day on Mars takes a little over 24 hours. Mars makes a complete orbit around the Sun in 687 Earth days. It is a rocky planet. Its solid surface has been altered by volcanoes, impacts, winds, crustal movement, and chemical reactions. The planet has a thin atmosphere made up mostly of carbon dioxide, argon, nitrogen, and a small amount of oxygen and water vapor. It has two moons named Phobos and Deimos. It is known as the Red Planet because iron minerals in the Martian soil oxidize, or rust, causing the soil and atmosphere to look red. Jupiter. Jupiter has a long history, surprising scientists all the way back to 1610. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, more than twice as massive as all the other planets combined. 11 Earths could fit across Jupiter's equator. If Earth were the size of a grape, Jupiter would be the size of a basketball. It orbits about 484 million miles. The planet rotates once about every 10 hours, but takes about 12 Earth years to complete one orbit of the Sun. It is a gas giant and so lacks an Earth-like surface. If it has a solid inner core at all, it's likely only about the size of Earth. Its atmosphere is made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. Jupiter has more than 75 moons. Saturn. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and the second largest planet in our solar system. It orbits at a distance of about 886 million miles from the Sun. It takes about 10.7 hours to rotate on its axis once a Saturn day and 29 Earth years to orbit the Sun. Saturn is a gas giant planet and therefore does not have a solid surface like Earth's. But it might have a solid core somewhere in there. The planet atmosphere is made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. It has 53 known moons with an additional 9 moons awaiting confirmation of their discovery, that is a total of 62 moons. It has the most spectacular ring system, with 7 rings and several gaps and divisions between them. Saturn cannot support life as we know it, but some of Saturn's moons have conditions that might support life. Uranus. The first planet found with the aid of a telescope, Uranus was discovered in 1781 by astronomer William Herschel. Uranus is about 4 times wider than Earth. If Earth were a large apple, Uranus would be the size of a basketball. It takes about 17 hours to rotate once, and about 84 Earth years to complete an orbit of the Sun. Most of its mass is a hot, dense fluid of icy materials, water, methane, and ammonia, above a small rocky core. The planet atmosphere made mostly of molecular hydrogen and atomic helium, with a small amount of methane. It has 27 known moons. It has 13 known rings. The inner rings are narrow and dark and the outer rings are brightly colored. Uranus cannot support life as we know it. Neptune. Dark, cold, and whipped by supersonic winds, ice giant Neptune is the 8th and most distant planet in our solar system. In 2011, Neptune completed its first 165-year orbit since its discovery in 1846. Neptune is about 4 times wider than Earth. If Earth were a large apple, Neptune would be the size of a basketball. It takes about 16 hours to rotate once, and about 165 Earth years to orbit the Sun. Most of its mass is a hot, dense fluid of icy materials, water, methane, and ammonia, above a small rocky core. Its atmosphere is made up mostly of molecular hydrogen, atomic helium, and methane. The planet has 13 moons, which are named after sea gods and nymphs in Greek mythology. Neptune cannot support life as we know it.